What's on your radar, Ryan?
Well, the video game that my kids have all gotten obsessed with is called Roblox, and it's surging in popularity around the world. At the end of this past year, it had nearly 50 million active users on its platform every single day. Now, because it's mostly kids, their chat function has impressively tight controls. It doesn't just block out profanity, but also blocks out numbers and other words that might be used by old men trying to creep on little kids. Now, when young children are involved, that's the kind of big tech censorship I'm very much in support of. Now, over at The Intercept, my colleague Ken Klippenstein is reporting that Amazon is taking a page out of the Roblox playbook and was working on a plan to roll out a chat app that would block workers there from sharing naughty words. Now, their idea of blocking naughty words starts out the same. There will be no profanity allowed. But from there, it starts to get a little weird. See if you can spot the pattern in the forbidden words. I hate, union, fire, terminated, compensation, pay raise, bullying, harassment, I don't care, rude, this is concerning, stupid, this is dumb, prison, threat, petition, grievance, injustice, diversity, ethics, fairness, accessibility, vaccine, senior ops, living wage, representation, unfair, favoritism, rate, TOT, unite and unity, plantation, slave, slave labor, master, concerned, freedom, robots, trash, committee, and of course, everybody's favorite, last but not least, restrooms. So those are the words Amazon won't allow its workers to say to each other over their chat if they actually roll this out. And the way workers are spread out in warehouses, a chat like that would often be the only way they can communicate. Now, the word restrooms, of course, is clearly meant to stop people from complaining about how trashed the bathrooms are, or how far they are from where they are, or how so many workers have to pee in bottles or corners to stay on task. TOT in that last list is time off task. And Amazon has electronic ways of monitoring whether you're on or off task. They clearly think that the only reason workers would mention Amazon's most important measurement, TOT, is to complain about it. Now, this news comes as Amazon is reeling from the first successful union drive in the company's history, after workers at a Staten Island warehouse voted overwhelmingly to collectively bargain. A nearby warehouse is also voting in a few weeks, and this news is likely worth a decent number of votes in that upcoming election, too. Now, disclosures show that Amazon has spent millions on what's called, quote, union avoidance by the management class. But here's some free advice for them. If you want to avoid a union, treat your workers with respect and pay them a decent wage. Then you don't have to worry about censoring naughty words like injustice, pay raise, plantation, or union. Amazon, for its part, told The Intercept there are no plans to ban many of the words on the list. Quote, if it does launch at some point down the road, said an Amazon spokesperson, there are no plans for many of the words you're calling out to be screened. The only kinds of words that may be screened are ones that are offensive or harassing, which is intended to protect our team, unquote. And so, Robbie, you've, and Kim as well, you've worked on stories like this before. It's always fun when you get that corporate statement that is kind of future-looking. There are no plans to roll this list out. It's like, that's not what the documents said, but we'll take your word for it at this point. And it's a way that they can sort of deny a story by saying that, well, now we're no longer planning on doing that.
Right.
Yeah. They should not do that. That sounds like a bad idea.
They made the right decision.
Right.
Not only that, but how would it even work? I mean, could you imagine chatting and you say, this really, what were some of the words like this sucks or this
right.
not sucks,
I don't care. This is unfair.
I don't
ethics.
care. And then what would happen? Like, would you get this notification that says, sorry, your chat couldn't be delivered?
Well,
or,
if it's like the Roblox technology, it turns it into the little pound signs. And so, if you would press enter, yeah, it would say, anybody, what's up with the restrooms? And it would just say, what's up with and then a whole bunch of pound signs.
Oh, interesting. So it makes it look like it's a...
I'm angry. I think we should form pound, 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 pound.
Okay, so it
yeah,
looks like it's bleeped out kind of a thing.
But
then you could just get around that. Then you create, the employees will create like their own little language. Like, we need to create an elephant. The elephant meeting is tonight, right?
The problem there, well, for one, Amazon will be tracking everybody's words, so they won't just be banning it. They will also see that somebody tried to type union, and so then when the consultants come in, they can pull that person aside and say, hey, here's why you shouldn't join this union. Right. But the other thing, and this goes to partly why the Staten Island one was able to be successful, in order to create a code like, hey, we should form an elephant, you have to know your colleagues, your coworkers first. Like, you have to be with them in person, and in order to create that. And in a lot of warehouses, there's so much turnover and they're so massive that a lot of people just don't know each other. So Chris Smalls was hired to help set up the Staten Island warehouse like 5 years ago. And so he kind of hired a ton of people, he trained a lot of people, and because he worked there up until fairly recently, he knows dozens of people who are still in there, and the people that he knows know other people. So there's more of a tight community. But with some of these other warehouses, now that they've been open for a while, nobody knows anybody. And they're just churning through the community. So this is their risk. If they create community through this app, then that community might decide they like each other.
Yeah.
And want to team up.
I think Amazon will find workers are more productive when they're happier and
which they say is the goal of this.
Feeling like but not feeling like they're surveilled, their words tracked, their very language denied to them, right? Like, let's not go crazy dystopia here.
Not only that, but people are going to find the workarounds like we were just discussing. I mean, it's human nature. I mean, look, teenagers can get around every single roadblock that their parents put in their way. Adults can certainly figure out a way to get around all of this. Censorship just doesn't work as much as people want to think that it does. It just simply doesn't. So Amazon going to this next level of censorship to try, and I get it, they're sitting there saying, well, it's our chat function. It's workplace chat.
Right.
So we don't want work, right. Sure. But I know a lot of workplaces will put controls on the computers, like so that you can't go on Twitter or Facebook while you're sitting at your desk in your cubicle. But so, I mean, I understand you want certain conversation and certain type of, certain type of conversation to be happening at the workplace. But this just doesn't work. I mean, it just doesn't. And all it does is upset people. Yeah, it makes it even worse. And
it's so instructive about how they perceive their workers' perceptions about Amazon. Like, if you're going to ban the words ethics and fairness and injustice, you're assuming as Amazon that the only reason that these workers would be using these words would be to describe you.
Yeah. Well, but there are some workplaces, right, that want to stop, maybe, I'm not saying this is the situation here, that want their employees, and it's probably not, we're not talking about Amazon workers, but their employees are overly distracted or at each other's throats talking about political subjects, and they've tried to introduce policies like, hey, guys.
Trump and Brandon are not banned.
What? Well.
You can still say Brandon.
Well.
Yeah.
And I bet they would have liked to ban schedule, but too many people have to actually talk about schedule, because that's the thing for a lot of Amazon workers that is the most frustrating. Their unpredictable schedule that might be late at night. Yeah. Anyway.
Maybe it'll all be done by robots at some point.
Right.
You can just program the robots not to talk about these things.
Yeah, that's right. Like, what's ethics? What's justice? Don't know about these things.
That's also a terrifying thought. Ethics does not compute.
Does not compute.
Our rising panel joins us next. Stick around.
Stay tuned.